Hey man, Hebron Ben Bilal coming back at you with another edition of this Boomer's Logic. Now here sitting waiting for my wife to come out of her medical appointment. But I wanted to make a quick video about something I seen this morning on the YouTubes. But before we get into it, man, if you haven't already, go to the channel Boomer's Logic, Hebron Ben Bilal. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, this morning I was watching the YouTubes and I seen this girl. And she was talking about how black women are the largest demographic of unprotected people in this country. So black women are the largest demographic of unprotected people in this country. She also said that as far as economics go, they are the wealthiest demographic, black women. They are the wealthiest demographic in this country. So there's more millionaires amongst black women than it is in any, other demographic in this country. So first thing I want to say about this is, please, these stats, y'all just killing me with these stats. Like I said the other day, please miss me with these stats. These stats, everybody has a stat. This generation has leaned on skewed, made-up stats regarding anything that they want to argue about or they want to be right about. They've leaned on stats more than any other generation that I have been around. But the one thing I want to know is who sat down and polled these people and found out that the black women are the most unprotected demographic in this country. Who made this poll? And what was the basis? Who did you ask? Who did you talk to? When I heard it, statistically, who came up with these stats? That's all I want to know. These y'all just running wild with the stats. And then 9 times out of 10, the stats is just something you pulled out of the air just to sound intelligent or make your argument sound convincing. Anyway, away from that particular part, let's talk about this unprotected demographic of people. Yeah, I would say you're the most unprotected because the first thing you did when you gained any amount of power, first thing you did was make it your business. Y'all shouted it from the mountaintops that y'all did not want to be tethered to black men. You wanted to be your own demographic. This is what you shouted for. This is what you marched and screamed and hooped and hollered for, to be your own demographic, to be separate from black men. This is what y'all pushed. This narrative, and black men, you just as guilty when they were pushing these movements. You pandering panty sniffers was right behind them talking about, yeah, strong sisters, yeah, this and this and this. Now look at them. They out of control. They running wild. They trying to raise young men without the guidance of men. You can't tell them nothing. They don't want to listen. And it lays in y'all lap, black men. Y'all allowed this. You pushed this narrative. Where did you think it was going to end up? I'm going to tell you something. I said this before. When that thing came out on BET, Black Girls Rock, I was incarcerated. I went back and told my cellie, I said, that's the worst thing that they could ever have done to our black community. That whole Black Girls Rock, that was the start of this whole separate black woman liberation movement. You didn't want equal rights. You didn't want equality. You wanted to be separate. And this is what you did. You created this division between black men and black women. Now I'm talking to you now, black women. You created this division, but you still continue to look to us to protect you. I don't understand how that works. You wanted your own. You're always hollering how women run the world, but you still need to be protected. How in the hell do you want your own and you run the world, but you're the least protected? Who has to protect the most powerful demographic? Y'all the richest. You're your own separate entity now. That means that y'all need to be protecting yourselves. Don't look to everybody else to protect you. The one thing about life, society, if you have something, you have to know how to hold on to it. You have to have the ability to hold on to whatever belongs to you. That y'all belong to your own little separate entity, your own little group. Protect yourselves. Protect yourselves. And then you running around here out of control. You running around here out of control. I mean, from the 15-year-old all the way up to the 60-year-olds. Y'all running behind these Cardi B, Sexy Red, Meg Thee Stallion, all these whores. Y'all want to emulate them. You want to dress like them. You want to behave like them. You women, you older black women are divorcing your husbands just so you can live these single lives now because you're in awe and jealous of what you see these other women do, and you want to do the same thing. So you still want to be protected, and you're asking us to be the protectors. When we're sitting and saying, no, we don't agree with your lifestyle, we don't agree with what you're doing, we don't agree with any of it, but you still turn to us, scoff, and say, still protect us. We're still going to act wild, we're going to be disobedient, we're going to be out of control, we're going to be uncontrollable, we're not going to be submissive, we're not going to behave. And let me pause on that submissive thing, because that's a trigger word for you black women. Y'all hate that word, submissive. I'm going to tell you, I was watching this girl on the YouTubes this morning, and she said, it's funny how black women can be submissive when they go to work with their bosses, their male bosses, but they can't be submissive when they go home to their husbands. It's backwards. You will submit, you just don't want to submit to black men. You will submit because you do it at work to keep your job, to keep your platforms going, but you won't do it with your man. It's just backwards. And once again, you want this freedom. You want to do all these things that you want to do. You want to run around like whores. You want to have the slut walk. You want to be on, what's that, OnlyFans. You want to do all this and say that we need to protect this. We don't even agree with it. So why in the hell would we protect it? You're out of control. Your whole, listen, your whole society is out of control in this because, black men, you refuse to put your foot on the necks of your women. You refuse to. I'm going to show you something. Because now all y'all really talking about this. I've been talking about it for about 2 years. I've been talking about it, man, for a long time. Now, you know, you got a contingency of dudes who are now standing up, talking out, you know, speaking out about this. But the thing is, they won't speak too directly to the point because they don't want their platforms taken down or be demonetized. There's only one person that I see that's really real, and you know, his name is Corey Holcomb. He spares nobody. So anyway, your communities are out of control, man, black men, because you refuse to put your foot on the necks of these women to bring them under subjection. I'll give you a great example. You know, the very people that you and your communities and your churches, your black community, calls the cult. Y'all call the Hebrew Israelite cults. That's what you call them. But here go the thing. You might want to look to these cults, so-called cults that you call them, because I'm a Hebrew, and say, why is it that their communities run so efficiently? They don't have any troubles. They don't have any worries. Their women are under subjection. How are they doing it? So one of two things, either y'all wrong and the Hebrews are right, or y'all right and the Hebrews wrong for bringing their women under subjection, having a peaceful environment, having a community where the children listen, where they obey and do what's right. So which one do you want? Do you want the out of control, the young men killing everybody, your women dressing like whores, being disrespectful, out of control, unsubmissive, just type of community? Or do you want one of peace? Because that cult that you call them have that to offer you, the blueprint. And the blueprint is they will not allow these women to rise up and cause this chaos and confusion. Islamic communities, same thing. You don't see that. What you see in your communities, you won't see that in Islamic communities. Look at the Nation of Islam. You don't see that there because they bring their women under subjection. The African community, which I've been seeing so many Africans, you don't see that because they keep their foot on the necks of their women. See, this is too strong for you, panty sniffing panderers, or pandering panty sniffers. Excuse me. This is too strong for you. You don't like this. It's just, oh my God, he's saying put our feet on the neck of our women. We're not barbaric, and that's so out of, okay, that's cool. Reject everything that you're hearing, and this is what you're gonna continue to have. You're gonna continue to get on these podcasts, keep talking about Sexy Red, how sickening she is. You're gonna keep talking about Cardi B, you're gonna keep talking about Megan Thee Stallion, you're gonna keep talking about this out of control behavior in your communities via your women. Because you gave them that power. When they had the whole black woman liberation movement, they wanted to be liberated, they wanted equality. Y'all was right behind them and pushing that garbage. Now they are out of control. Now that they got a little power, they are out of control and they showing you. Then the thing is, they come back and come with this stat talking about they're the least protected. They wanted to be out there on their own. Y'all women are simple-minded. You want to be out of control, but you want somebody to protect something that they don't agree with. Doesn't make sense. And to you men, man, listen. Y'all allowed it to get out of control. Like I say, that in them communities, those cult communities, the Hebrew Israelite communities, you don't see that. You don't see kids killing each other. You don't see defiant children. You don't see them running up in stores, stripping stores of all their belongings. You don't see any of that. You don't see the women dressing like whores and cutting up. You know, you don't see that. You don't see that in Islamic communities. You don't see that in Dubai. You don't see that in African communities. There's so many different communities I can point to and say, why is your community looking like this, but their communities look like this? It's because the women run your community, and they're running it into the ground. So, while you black women are looking for protection, to be protected, I don't think you should look to black men for it. White people aren't going to protect you. But I don't believe that you should be looking to black men for it. Because black men are growing sick of you and your behavior, your conduct, your unruliness. They're growing tired of it. But at the same time, they won't bring you under subjection. And you don't want to be subject to anything. But you still want protection. Okay. Hey, man, until the next one, Hebron bin Bilal signing off. If you haven't already, man, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and tell a friend to tell a friend.